Oh hi, you caught me changing. Speaking of changing, let's talk about AFI. Hi folks, welcome to Punk Cliches. I'm your host Dan. AFI are a punk band that has evolved more than any Pokemon that I know of. They've had more eras than any Swiftie could shake a stick at, and they've endured over 4 decades of ever-changing trends in the alternative and punk world. I truly believe there will never be a band like AFI, but this video isn't an Emp style parody. This video is a Comic Tropes style parody. So, in honor of Comic Tropes, one of my favorite channels to watch these days, let's listen to some AFI and see if we can identify some of their most used techniques. I don't want to use the host Chris's word of tropes though for this show, so I'm going to be using the word cliché. So, let's see how many AFI punk cliches we can find while listening to the band AFI. Now, I won't be counting things like power chords or 16th notes. The building blocks of punk rock are expected to be there. However, I want to identify the AFI cliches that we could reasonably expect to run into during any listening session of the band AFI. Some cliches that I'll be looking out for are as follows: woes and ohs, vocal harmonies, sound samples, unusual instruments to create mood, tempo changes, or seemingly slowing down or speeding up a song, call and response vocals, mentioning the sky, mentioning the ocean. These lyrics are literally just a fairy tale. Themes of loneliness, anger, regret, pain, etc. AKA getting emo. Misfits worship. Jangly bass fills. All instruments drop for an a cappella moment or just for Davey to scream. Combining harmonies and call and response with woes and ohs. Isolated guitar arpeggios. Drum build-ups. Davey singing over just the rhythm section. So first, some context. AFI got started in California in the early 90s, and in 1995, they released their first debut record entitled Answer That and Stay Fashionable. In the beginning, they presented themselves kind of like a posse-core band, very melodic hardcore. But by the end of that decade, they've adopted more of a horrorcore focused kind of Misfits worship punk rock kind of sound. And in today's video, that's the era that I'm going to be concerned with, the spooky era. And no matter what subgenre these guys were dipping their toes in, we could find at least a handful of those cliches that I just went over. To me though, that's not a bad thing. That just tells me that AFI knew the DNA of what AFI was, and that knowledge provided them the freedom that allowed them to explore all these other sounds without abandoning the core of AFI. For this experiment, because it's October, we're going to be diving into AFI's 1991 Halloween-themed EP entitled the All Hallows EP. And in the spirit of comic tropes, I wanted to go out and get a physical copy of this record. So I spent a day and went all around the city of Toronto going to 6 record stores. I went to Cops East, I went to Cops West, I went to Sonic Boom, Rotate This, Emission, which is a punk rock flavored record store, and Furtham Records, which is a metal flavored record store, and I could not find the record we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, and that is by streaming it. The old-fashioned way. So we're going to listen to this EP, and every time that I run into one of these cliches that they do, I'm going to be eating a piece of sour candy. Now, I wanted like the most sour candy that I could find, and I don't know if I was successful, but this one is Sour Patch Kids Extreme, okay? So for every single cliche I find, I will be eating a piece of candy, but not just one at a time. That's not very fun. I'll identify all the cliches in a song, and then by the time the song is over, I'll eat that many candies all at once. Oh, and I also got these super sour gushers. So in theory, the more cliches that I find, the more intense this video is gonna feel, at least for me. This iconic 4-song EP starts with the song Fall Children, and as soon as we hit play, we're smacked with our first cliche. The first sound that we're greeted with is an isolated guitar arpeggio. Now, I don't really have a board behind me that I could like stick this to. That wall's not real. So because this is a style parody of comic tropes, I need to stick these sticky notes to something. So I got this Ninja Turtles thing, but you probably can't see the Ninja Turtles either because of the green screen thing that's going on. So I'll use the back, oopsie, and we'll put our first one down here at the very bottom and work our way up. Stick! Uh-oh, I don't know if that's gonna stick. I'm gonna have to use this tape, but unfortunately it's also green. Not very green screen friendly right there, but there it is. Isolated guitar arpeggio. Immediately, 0 seconds in. Okay, let's keep listening because it definitely doesn't take us long to run into another cliche here. Davey hits the whoa-ohs as soon as as all the instruments kick in. So we're going to be adding whoa-ohs to the board. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently than Comic Tropes. For every song they do a whoa-ohs, we're going to count it. But I'm not going to count whoa-ohs every time they do it in a song. They do it so much. But every song we start over. There it is. Whoa-ohs. And right after he whoa-ohs for a little bit, he mentions a reddened sky. And that's another cliche. We're 3 cliches in already, and the song has barely even started. And as the song continues, of course the other band members are going to start to harmonize with Davey. So where is it? There's another one. Harmonies. I'm really starting to hope that these sour candies aren't really all that sour, because they're really hitting all these AFI cliches effortlessly. As the song rounds the bend to the bridge, it kind of strips everything back and then seemingly slows down. Now I don't know if musically this is technically a tempo change, but for the purposes of a song, really slowing down the energy like that, I'm gonna count it. We get a tempo change. It really does slow down into a very nice little tight groove there. There's our board. Now the last cliche that I found in this song could fit into one of 2 categories. It could be an unusual instrument to set mood, or it could be a sample. But the song ends with this like music box thing. I'm calling it an unusual instrument. Added to the board. So what is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sour candies. They're all going down the hatch all at the same time. So I figured we might as well start with the Sour Patch Kids extreme ones first. I do like Sour Patch Kids, typically, but I've never tried the extreme version before. So let's dig in here. 6 of them. It's a little bit of all the flavors here, just so you can see what I'm working with here. We got orange, pink, pink, blue, blue, green. 6 extreme Sour Patch Kids. All right, AFI, you did this to me. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh man. Oh, okay. That's happening. It makes my stomach turn. I haven't had breakfast yet. Oh God. Okay, so the next song is a Misfits cover. So you know, that's just one big cliche. Misfits worship. Oh my God. Add it to the board. Oh my God, there it is. 6 sour candies down the hatch. Misfits worship. Okay, as I was saying earlier, this is kind of when they were transitioning from their hardcore sound to kind of their melodic horrorcore sound. Oh my God. So that of course came with a heaping helping of Misfits worship, which manifested itself in cover songs like this one, Fishnets, Devil Locks, Eyeliner, and just general spookiness. But since this is a Misfits song, we only get a smattering of AFI cliches in it. We're 100% gonna get some harmonies. And the song ends with an unusual instrument as this detuned piano plays for like an unsettling amount of time. Adding these 2 to the cliche board. So I'd say this Misfits cover scores a 3 on the cliche counter. So for that one, I'm gonna be eating 3 of these super sour gushers. All right, super sour. I'm intimidated. That last one was pretty crazy, but it was 6 of them. This is only 3. There you go. That's 3 super sour gushers. Down the hatch. Yeah, those are pretty sour. Okay, moving on. It's the most listened to song on this EP, all thanks to its inclusion on the Tony Hawk 3 soundtrack back in the day. This song is called The Boy Who Sold the World. And with this being one of AFI's most popular tracks, I'm expecting to find a whole hell of a lot of cliches in it. Well, let's see. We're off to a good start because the first lyrics are as follows. Once there was a boy who had a vibrant glow. Oh, 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 oh. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Those lyrics are literally a fairy tale. And we got a bunch of O's. Let's add 2 more to the board over here. Putting them at the top over here this time. As we dive back into the song, all these instruments just stop for Davey to scream. And you know, that is another cliche. Stop so Davey can scream. Boom! Adding it to the board. And speaking of the chorus, it's a pretty typical call and response type thing. The call being, remember when, the response being, remember when we were all so beautiful. Call and one response. Call to me and ye shall receive. Davey Havoc, adding another cliche to your cliche board over here, bud. The lines switch up next time around to never again, never again. And that would be another cliche to kind of subtly change the lyric next time you sing it, but I'm not gonna count it. That's just like a pseudo cliche. In the second verse, there's a line that mentions being desperate and alone. So you know we're talking about desperate loneliness. What does that mean? Davey is getting emo. Gentlemen, score it. Getting emo. So as we keep listening here, you know it's a pretty good song. And around the 1 minute 10 second mark, we get some of the most jangly bass I have ever heard. Listen to this jangly ass bass fill. That's a trope. Jangly ass bass. Even when they're a hardcore band. Even when they're a horrorcore band. I haven't listened to the new record, but I bet that jangly ass bass is still around. Now the bass doesn't go on big like Matt Freeman type runs, just like jangly little fills, and then the tone just accompanies it so well. And then shortly after that, we are just piling these cliches. A chord rings out as all instruments stop, so Davey can scream. Roll it. Spanking that one on the board right here. Stop so Davey can scream. After they stop so Davey can scream, another cliche hits us almost right away as they do like this drum roll, but the drum roll kind of like starts quiet and then gets louder. So I'm counting that as a drum build. This song is getting pretty damn loaded over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 already. I can already feel the chemical peel of all the fucking skin off of my tongue. Song's not over yet. After the next time we hear the chorus, we go into a bridge. Now technically again, it's not really a tempo change, but they slow things down again just so they can build it all the way back up. We're gonna have another tempo change. Music nerds, I know that's not technically what that is called. It isn't really a tempo change. The BPM would stay the same in the DAW. I know that. But as far as listening is concerned, it slows to a crawl. Tempo change. As you listen to AFI, you get sort of desensitized to all their cliches and tropes or whatever. I didn't even realize, of course, there's harmonies all over this thing too. Harmonies. As the song comes to a close, we hear this like radio static sample along with the gentle falling of rain. That, my friends, is a sample. Add it to the board. I don't want to. Believe me, I don't want to. It's early in the morning. There's no way I want to eat all this sour candy. But we're getting more intense over here. That's 11 candies, my friends. We'll do a mix of Gushers and we'll do a mix of these intense Sour Patch Kids. This is so unappealing. Oh my God. Well, it is Halloween season, so there it is. There's 11. No. Oh, I don't want to do this, folks. There isn't a part of me at all that wants to do this. 11 sour candies. Well, it was one of the most AFI songs to ever AFI. Here we go. Oh, I don't want, oh my, I'm gonna puke. I am gonna fucking puke. Here we go. Oh. It's not so bad. Oh God, it's fine. Oh. Oh. There's the gusher. The gusher exploded. It was very sour. Oh my God. Oh God. That was the most AFI song to ever AFI. That is, of course, until we get to the next track, Total Immortal. It's a lot of people's favorite AFI song, including mine. And the first cliche happens at the 0-second mark because they carry over that rain sample from the last track into this track just so it's seamless or whatever. But technically it is a new track. And that sample would have been dragged into the mix. Oh my God. Rain sample. There it is, added to the board, rain sample. We did it. I've successfully digested all of that candy. Well, at least began the process. I don't think a sip of coffee after that's gonna taste so good, is it? Well, let's try. Oh, that's not that's not a pairing I would recommend for anybody's breakfast. This is terrible. Anyway, moving on. We gotta actually start listening to this song over here. All right, the drums are gonna kick us into one of the most hype songs of all time, and just underneath all of that hype is another jangly ass bass fill, holding it all together, holding it down. Fucking love to see it. Sounding so good over there, AFI, with your jangly ass bass, adding that to the cliche board here. Starting to run out of room a little bit. So that's 2 so far this track. Let's continue. Once the intro concludes, we get Davey singing over just the rhythm section. Now, it's actually kind of surprising to me that it took this long into this record to get Davey singing over just the rhythm section. This thing is such a cliche, but there it is. Count it. Davey over the rhythm section. All right, so that's 3. And now that we're talking about Davey singing, speaking of the words that he's singing, the first words that he sings are as follows. Hope unknown. Sometimes just waking is surreal. And that's just a taste of it in this song. He goes on to talk about rage, loneliness, anger, all sorts of emo emotions. Getting emo. Davey, add it to the board. And I would say Total Immortal, this last song on this EP, is the most emo forward song on this entire record, but it doesn't come without its spookiness, which means at the root of all that, we got some Misfits worship to throw up on the scoreboard. Count it. More Misfits worship. God damn, dude. This song is packing her in tight pretty well, too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already in this song, and we're like, what, 11 seconds in? I always said that Total Immortal was the most AFI song ever, and that this EP was the most AFI EP of all time. And so far, the math has proven me right. This is only 4 songs long, and look at all these cliches. Let's roll on to the 36-second mark, where the band just stops so Davey can scream. They really like this one. They're a big fan of this one. I know when you think of AFI, you think of woes and ohs, but the band stopping just so Davey can scream is really the biggest cliche of all. And you think they're packing in the cliches pretty tight here? Wait till you hear this next section. They pack them in tighter than ever, one after the other. We get woes and ohs, but not only are they woes and ohs, they're harmonized call and response woes and ohs. And since they're combining all those vocal elements, yeah, that's impressive. Of course it is, but it's also another cliche that I'm calling the vocal combo. So right there in this chorus, we're adding 4 more cliches to the board. So if my math is correct, I'm just taping these to the board here right now, it looks like we're at 10 cliches for this song, which is almost as much as the last one. But like I said, when you're listening to a lot of AFI, some of these cliches whiz past you and you don't even realize you're hearing them. There are drum builds all over this thing, and they're so subtle, just used tightly as drum fills in the verses. So drum build going up on the board as well. So unless I missed any, this is all the cliches right here. They fit this board actually kind of perfectly. It was meant to be. And also the math dictates that Total Immortal is tied with The Boy Who Sold the World with 11 cliches. So 11 more candies. Extreme Sour Patch Kids. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to this. This sucks. Let's go. I think that's the max I can do. Oh my god, bro. Oh god, my god. Ow! This is worse! Oh! My mouth is drooling all over the place! Oh god! I'm drooling all over the place! Okay. Oh god! Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Oh my god, this is so bad. Those are all the AFI cliches I could find in the All Hallows EP. Oh god. Did I miss any? Are there any other classic AFI cliches or tropes that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, keep listening to punk rock music. Oh, that really was disgusting, but thank you folks so much for watching this one. I know it was a little bit different than what I normally do around here, but I've been watching a lot of that Comic Tropes channel. I think Chris is really good at what he does, and I do kind of like, you know, style parodies over here on this channel. So when I had the idea to kind of like take his idea, I was like, oh, that could actually work, because you know what? There are a lot of tropes in punk rock music too. I could take his whole kind of thing and apply it to a band, I'm sure. And because it's like Halloween season, we got October happening or whatever, AFI did just put out a record. It all kind of just like made sense to choose AFI for this project. Like, I love AFI, and those old songs, man, hugely inspirational, hugely influential, and I'm pretty bummed that I couldn't find the physical version out there when I was looking for them to make this video. That would have made it a whole lot better, for sure, yeah, 100%. But I was still pretty happy with how it turned out. I was pretty happy with how it went. And in Chris's videos, way back in the day, he used to do kind of like the comic tropes, where he'd go through comics and be like, these are all the tropes of this artist, or these are all the tropes of, I don't know, like this writer or whatever. And then he'd have like a gimmick in his videos, like he'd either like drink an alcohol for every trope that he found, or he'd progressively eat hotter wings or whatever. Well, I don't drink really, and hot wings I'm not really huge on, and I didn't want to ape it completely, but to keep it, you know, all in the theme of Halloween and October, like there's got to be like an extreme kind of candy. And of course, sour candy came to my mind right away. But like, regularly available sour candy isn't really that sour, you know? It's nothing really that crazy out there. I remember there being like warheads or something, or all these like toxic waste type things, but I couldn't find anything like that anywhere around me. So I had to go to like a, what is it? It's called Shoppers Drug Mart. It's a big pharmacy or whatever. And they had these two things. You had the Sour Patch Extreme and the Super Sour Gushers. So, yo, dude, yeah, that'll do, I guess. And yeah, they did. They were pretty sour, not gonna lie. Especially that last batch that I did. That was shockingly disgusting. I don't know if I'm gonna eat the rest of these sour candies, to tell you the truth. But anyway, that's this video. Thank you for watching it. But this channel is all propped up by two main things, and that, of course, is memberships, which you can hit join down below, or subscribe plus. I'm not sure what the button says for you. It says different things for different people, but memberships keep this channel going, and also the live streams with the request system we got going. So if you're liking the videos and you like the community and you want to come chill out, then we got the live streams that happen on this channel so frequently, okay? And the beautiful thing about these live streams is that you can contribute. You can request songs, full sets. We watch live versions. If I can't find the live version, then we'll listen to the studio version or the music video kind of thing. But it's a live, music-focused live stream. And I also play video games and kick back, and it's just a good time. I have an overall goal of getting 100 people in the live stream. I haven't quite got there. Last night we got to 22 people, which is pretty good. That's 22% of the way there. So if you're watching this video and you're all the way at the end of it like this, and you see me go live sometime, hop on in, help us get to that 100 concurrent viewer goal. That's gonna be hella awesome. But if the live stream's not really your thing, and you have the means, and you enjoy what I'm doing, and you wanna help keep the lights on and keep supporting me, memberships down below. Members only videos, members only early access to videos. You get a green name in chat, you get a whole bunch of exclusive emojis and icons and that kind of thing. It's a good time. And if you're familiar with the operation that I have going on over here, it's a 4-pillar system, a 4-channel system. The main channel, which is right here, doing something a little bit different on it. We got the Drama Slop channel called The Art of Slop. It's just whatever the hell I want to do, whenever the hell I want to do it. It is just slop. We got a wrestling channel called The Wrestling Absorber. I'm doing like a parody of The Wrestling Observer, but calling myself The Wrestling Absorber. And then we got a gaming channel called I Hate Jeff, spelled EYEH8 Jeff, where I'm just posting whatever kind of like video game idea content I have in my brain. But I was so stoked to make this like comic tropes, punk cliches kind of video. And here it is, and now I gotta go edit it or whatever. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being along for the Frampton Network journey. We're gonna get all 4 channels monetized. My audience is the best. These live streams are so fun. The videos continue to be so fun to make. I'm evolving my stuff as I keep going. It's just a long-term thing. I've been doing this on this channel for years now. This channel I started in like 2012, by the way, as a music channel, and here we are today. Over 20,000 of you motherfuckers, and I appreciate every last one of you. Okay, goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.